Hey, what's up, guys? Rude Dog coming at you with the deck profile. For the past 2 weeks, this is what I took to locals. It is Bystial Ryzeal. My locals is very competitive, always averages at least 30 to 40 plus people every week. Everybody's on the meta decks, everybody's running what's out there that's competitive. So my locals, they get pretty intense. And I just didn't feel like spending money on the Fiendsmith package. I feel like it's not really needed. And also, everybody's on it, so I just wanted to run what I was comfortable with. So I just threw in some Bystials, and it's been pretty fun. The deck is aggressive, it's consistent, it does what it needs to do, and it counters a lot of the meta right now. So let's hop into it. Sorry for the camera. I gotta use my phone. I don't have no fancy setup. I just wanted to get this profile out there. But for my version, X is the best starter. You always want to see X. Um, he just does a lot on its own. You don't really want to start with ice because it plays into Fualos. It just gives them that extra draw. But if it's what you have, then obviously you got to play it. But for this build, try to go X as your first play. 3 sword. A little tip here. If your opponent normal sword, pretty much half the time, maybe 95% of the time, they bricked in their hand. So if they normal sword and you have the imperm it. Unless you just have a Veiler or something else that you can stop it. But if you have imperm it, because you don't really want to play into talents. But half the time, if you stop this as their first play, they're just gonna pass. And that's what's been happening these past 2 weeks. And when they pass it to me, I just blow them out. So just a little tip there. 1 node, 1 cross. Plugin, this card is amazing. We're still running plugin. It's still pure Ryzeal, just with some Bystials. And plugin just does a lot to go for game. That's what I was using it for half the time. 3 bonfire. So that's it for the Ryzeal engine. This package right here, this bad boy won me so many games. Opening Lubellion with another Bystial and X or bonfire was just game all day. Game. And this card by itself just does a lot. And it's a really good card, especially against Malice, because we do run the branded regain. So you go 3 Lubellion, 1 mag, and 2 Druid Swarms. This card is so broken this format, especially against Detonator. There's so many combos you could do to out it, and then you just keep pushing. The whole purpose of this deck is just to keep pushing if they stop you. And the Bystials by itself, they're broken this format. 1 regain. This card against Malice is amazing. They try to banish, you just send it back to the bottom of the deck and you draw. For the hand traps, 3 Fualos. We all know what it does. You gotta run it. 3 Ash. 3 Veiler. 2 Nibiru. I don't want to run 3. I don't really like opening this card. I hate it because half the time it kind of sticks into your hand, but if your opponent wants to try to keep pushing, nib them. And then my spicy tech for these 2 weeks was 1 Perulia. This card just throws people off because what I want to do is force my opponent to change up their game plan. Make a half board while you're drawing the whole time. So if your opponent wants to start going first in the whole match and you drop a Perulia, they ash it, then you go chain Fualos, man, I was just plussing all day, just drawing cards, drawing engine, and they would pass on a half board and set 1 card, and then I would just go from there. 1 Ghost Ogre. This card was okay. It does what it needs to do, just mainly for dual drive. So those are the hand traps. And then I ran 2 talents. This card is broke in this format. If they do anything to stop your dual drive, look at the hand. If they have nib, take out their nib and go from there. That's what I was doing, just push. And my opponents were not ready for it. And then 3 Imperm to round off the main deck. It's 40 cards. Try to keep it as consistent as possible. Like I said, this deck is all about being aggressive, making your plays, making your opponent go half boards, and just blow them out when it's your turn. So let's get into the extra deck. I ran 2 Detonator. This card is just nasty. 2 Dual Drive. This card is broken. So what I like to do in this version is if I'm going first, I go X, send a Dual Drive, get Sword, Special Sword, get Ice, then overlay into Dual Drive, attach this Dual Drive under it so you have a material no matter what. If he resolves, use his effect, search for your cross and whatever other Ryzeal card you need in that moment. And if it resolves, it's game. Because once you get cross on the field, you're going to blow them out. So you're detaching 2 Ryzeals, but you still have this. And if it resolves, you have cross in your hand now with whatever other Ryzeal card that you grab. And if they want an IB, you just detach him. And if I'm going second, obviously go X and send aggregator. You do what you got to do. And like I said, this deck is just all about being aggressive. And this card is just broken. And this deck is only going to get a lot better once Eclipse Twins comes out. So I don't know. It's just they shouldn't have made these cards. They're pretty broken and they're cheap. 1 Jagaris. This card is amazing. It does so much. You want to go for game, double Detonator's attack. You want to draw. It's just going first, you draw. Going second, you double an attack and you blow them out. 1 aggregator. You don't need 2 in this version. If you need 2, you're doing something wrong. Castell and Adagnister. These cards are so broken. Getting rid of a Nib token with Adagnister. If I need to bounce something back to go for game. Oh man, both of these cards right here, they save you big time. 1 Abyss Dweller. Didn't really make it, but it's good. Exciton made it 1 time probably. Typhon obviously is very needed. Does a lot. This bad boy, any Bystial with ice, and that's an automatic Chaos Angel. But if you have Druid Worm and ice, you're just outing 2 cards, and then they can't get rid of it because it's light and dark. 1 SP, and then my spicy text, because I don't run Baguska, I don't run Tornado Dragon, they're not needed. And for my side deck, I throw in 2 cards that kind of help me out against the Feastsmith Ryzeal package. And that is 1 Entis and 1 Malong. These 2 cards, game 2 going second, MVPs, because I side in Ultimate Slayer. Against Feastsmith, if they have that 1 fusion Feastsmith, I forgot what his name is, you ulti Slayer their fusion, send Entis, pop something, you go from there. This is mainly for Chaos Angel with Ultimate Slayer. You Ultimate Slayer, send this to the grave, you bounce Chaos Angel, and then this gets to bounce any face-up card on the field, and these 2 were just blowouts because I would just ulti-K them after that, and they were not prepared for it. So those are my spicy tags. Obviously, once Eclipse Twin comes out, these are going to go out. Eclipse Twin will go in, and we go from there. Now for the side deck, this bad boy against Malice and Feastsmith is very, very good. When the new Mocharmy comes out, I'll probably take these out for the new Mocharmy. But for now, this card does a lot. It just, like I said, the way I built this deck is to make my opponent change up their plays, change up their strategy, make a half board, and then blow them out. So Phantasma is really, really good right now. I'd probably suggest you guys try to run it. It's very cheap. Lancia, blowout card against Malice. Yesterday I played against Pure Malice with Bystials and Striker Malice, and these alone, these 6, just blowouts. It wasn't even fair. It wasn't even Yu-Gi-Oh at that point. MVP, Ultimate Slayer against Feastsmith Ryzeal. Just throw these bad boys in and Antis and Chaos Angel, and go from there. Or if they have a detonator on field, just ulti slayer the detonator. And like I said, the way I built this deck is to be aggressive and you blow them out. So these are my going second cards. I think it just depends on matchups, but other than that, these are going second. Going first, I run the call by and 3 crossouts because you don't need all those hand traps in your main deck. You just bring them all down to 1, leave what you need for the matchup, and if you open up a crossout or call by and your dual drive resolves, that's GG's. And then the MVP, Solemn Strike. This card alone wins you games, stops everything. Solemn Judgment's cool, but being able to stop any monster effect, especially a Druid Swarm, if they try to stop your bounce your detonator, just strike it and you win from there. So that's the whole deck, guys. 40 cards for the main deck. Spicy Tech was Antis and Malong for ulti slayer targets. But once Eclipse Twin comes in, these will go out. And you just throw into Eclipse Twin and run the same engine if you're going to try to run Bystial Ryzeal. The side deck is, I think it's comfortable for my playstyle. I think ulti slayer will come out, run in 2 dimensional barriers just to counter Mitsurugi and any other matchups like Fiendsmith, obviously, because they run everything else. And then the Pneumo Charmy cards, once they come in, just substitute those in for Phantasme if you can afford them. If not, it's all good. Just run Phantasme for the format. And that should be it, guys. That was my deck profile. Like I said, sorry for the phone camera, but we got to work with what he got. So take care, guys.